Hello guys, so welcome back to another session of learning Unity with me. Today will be another hour, so that's good. I think where we last left off, we were implementing sound effects to our game, and we are doing a challenge. Let's see if it's
a couple of
like
pin take
yeah, we're here. So far this is what we have. It's not the right sound effects I want, but for now it's fine. Yeah, for the sound effects, what I'm thinking, because I downloaded some zombie sounds, so that's what I'm gonna replace with the death sound. And for the blast, I'd probably make like a goop sound. I don't know if that makes any sense. And then for the player, it'll actually be, you know, bullets, like actual gun sound. And then when he dies, it'll be someone screaming. If I can't find the one, like if I can't find the what do you call it? If I can't find the right sound, then I'll probably have to do that part. But anyways, let's continue to see how he implemented it, because the way I implemented it was using play clip at point, and because I got confused like why we needed to make the sound come from the camera's position as opposed to where the enemy, or where the sound is supposed to be playing at. Where, like, let's say the enemy dies, we want to play it at that enemy's position. Why do we have to do it in the camera's position? So that's why I'm confused about. Maybe he'll go over it. So yeah, let's go right into
on that challenge. Give it your best shot, and I'll see you back here when you have given it your best shot. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and open up a couple of scripts. I will be working in my enemy script and in my player script. First of all, in the enemy, where is it that we want our player to be, so our enemy to be exploding and making explosion kind of sounds? We've got our die method under here. We're creating a sound effect, a visual effect. We also want to put a sound effect down there under our die method. So give myself an extra line, audio source dot play clip at point. In our parentheses, now we can take in three things. So I'm just going to click down, I'll push down on my keyboard. We can see audio clip, we'll create that in a moment, a variable for that. The vector 3 positions, good to remember that it's a vector 3, and we'll talk about that. And then a volume, and this is something really useful. If you just leave it at default, it could be...
Huh. I want to try something now then. You could do transform. I mean, I don't think this should make a difference, but who knows? Let me just try it out. So that's when the player is shooting. Oh, I do hear it. But it's very faint. You know, which makes sense because, you know, the sound, like, I guess we're mainly listening from the camera, which is right in the center, but if it's like far away from it, it's kind of hard to see it. So I guess we can hear it.
Way too loud, or way
let me see how it looks like in 2D. Yeah, I hear it very faintly, and it didn't really help. I thought there'd be some instance, because if we're messing with vector 3, I assume that the zeta position has something to do with it. But we'll see.
Too quiet. so we can play around with volume. So first of all, what is the clip we're using? I'm going to scroll up and create myself a serialized variable, so serialized field, and this will be an audio clip. And the audio clip I will call, so we're in the enemy, and it's enemy explosion and death, so it's death SFX. Death FXX, different to the death VFX. If you find that a bit
that makes sense. That makes sense. This distance is what makes the sound, or the sound of everything. If we made the position to be of that of the original object as opposed to the camera to be very faint because of the distance between the camera. So because that is the case, by placing it, the new position with the X, Y, and then the camera's zeta position, I think that might fix the issue that we had. So let's give it a go. Yep. But actually you can't hear it. It's still relative to the camera, right? Which is kind of funny a little bit. But I wonder if that's how proximity voice chat works. Like, let's say each person has their own kind of center where they're listening to, and then whenever a sound is created, it's relative to wherever that player sound's created from, or that player's main position. That's interesting. That's very interesting. All right, let's
play
continue.
it at the camera.
So it seems like that was the we're getting to the right direction, but I don't think that that's the right solution. We still need to figure out something.
Camera dot main. That's saying the main camera in the scene. Play it right there. Now I think it's going to be too loud, and I kind of
so that is the best way to do it. Makes sense. I mean, we want to center it to the screen so that play, then I think everything should be all good. Yeah, we're definitely gonna change up the path because right now it's just pretty simple.
I know this because I've recorded this video a couple of times trying to get it nice and tight, and so I know that we don't want to be playing our audio at full volume. We want to play it at a volume that we can alter in our inspector. And I'll initialize that at 0.7, for example. And it ranges from 0 to 1. So 0.7, I need an F on the end. 0.7 means it's kind of around about just under 3/4 the volume. We'll make this easy for my example. So it's 3/4 of maximum volume. Now, one more thing we can do in here while we're creating our death sound volume is we know that this runs from 0 to 1. So therefore, what we can jump back over into Unity, check that this is all worked out, find our enemy prefabs. We'll go to Roger, and Roger, you can see, is looking for a death sound, so I'll select my death sound. I'm going to use just death effect, and then also the death sound volume, and we now have a slider from 0 to 1. Okay, save that, see if that has worked. Click on play. Okay, yeah, I think that's worked.
Let's see. Click that sound, shoot sound. Cool. So we go to prefabs, we have to go to the actual player and enemy, and then we could change the sound, the volume level, I guess. That sound, I think we should make it a little bit higher, but then the shoot sound a little bit lower because we do it so frequently. Now let's do 0.75. This one we'll do 0.85. Actually, let's make this 65. See how that sounds. Yeah, sounds pretty good. And then for the enemy, which we haven't done yet, but we can just copy and paste, so it's not a big deal. And then we just apply it to here. So this is the fire sound, so it's the clip, shoot, sound, volume. And then clip, death sound, volume. Alright. So again, this is not a zombie. I should delete it, but I'm kind of worried if I delete something bad will happen. Because I don't know, I forgot why I made this. I know it was to test some things out, but was that the only reason? I don't know. Let's see. Let's just try deleting it. All right, cool. So let's do 85 and 65. All right, cool.
Process hit in the player script.
It's kind of it's kind of scary. Not gonna lie, kind of freaks me out because I'm very um I'm very I get easily scared. That's why I don't really. Horror is not my favorite genre. I don't know why I made a game like this, even though it's not my taste. Like I don't mind like zombie games, but like horror games, like in general, like I rather stay away from them. Like I don't know if you can hear these sounds. I'll let you guys hear it. This one. I'll like when I guess when they enter the screen. Is there a way to test that? Like if they, if they entered if they entered the screen, right? That's when they start playing the sound. I don't know. But yeah, it's pretty cool that you can like. There's a lot of stuff here. Isn't this where I downloaded the other two, the player and the zombie one? Anyways,
the enemy is shooting under our method called fire, and again underneath the spot where we give the rigid body velocity, we'll paste in audio source, play clip at point, shoot sound, camera main transform position, comma shoot sound volume, semicolon. Okay, that's all looking really good. The one thing I'll point out is that my enemy variables are starting to be a real mess in here. I'm not going to tidy it up just now, but there's a bit of a side challenge for you, is to put in the headers and to group these so that we can have, say, enemy movement or enemy shooting or enemy audio, just so it becomes a bit clearer. So I'm not going to do that just now. I'll leave that to you to tidy up, but that would be certainly good practice. We'll jump back over into
that's actually better organization. Let me do that too. Looking good. I guess um, the enemy, we want to make sure that you listen to it so you're aware, like, oh, someone shoots. Where is it coming from? But someone did point out something, which is right here. It says don't list, yeah, set up your volumes in similar ratio. Enemy laser, enemy explosion, player laser. This gives a pretty immersive play. I have 4 different laser sounds for the enemy lasers, played randomly. Same with the enemy booms. 1 constant sound, pew pew for the player, and it all comes great. Rick is great at cutting, but remember, Phil Collins enforcing his wife in Contra games. I guess it really depends, right? I do want to go over some of these questions because they do bring some interesting points, like this one. Why not just use an audio source for the lasers? So I added an audio source to the enemy played lasers, and when shooting the sound played just fine. This seems like an easier way than having serialized fields for those. I understand for the explosions as they need to play at specific points, but when the laser comes into existence, play on wake, it should make the sound. Just wondering why not this route. What am I missing? Alright, so before I look at other people's answers, I do want to chime in on like what I think, like, because I do think it's like that's pretty good too, because then we kind of modularize things even better. But let's say, actually wait, I think this might be good since laser is only meant for the player. But what I'm thinking of is, like, let's say if we have different enemies using the same laser, and you want to change one setting for one of them while also instantiating another one. Wait, no, I take that back. Let me think about it a little bit more, actually. So by having an audio source for the lasers, we can just change the volume in the prefab laser, and then it'll get adjusted accordingly whenever it gets activated. Right. So if we shoot to play and so forth, I'm thinking it's just for better organization. Like, we know if the player has this type of laser or whatever laser they have, we'll be able to control the volume of that laser. So let's say we want to, because like if we make the player have multiple laser prefabs, let's say we have the ability to change guns, which will have a different laser, right? Having it like this will be a lot easier, because then we don't need to keep applying the volume to all those separate lasers, and then we'll lose kind of the dang, I lost it, but something like that. I feel like it has something to deal with that. Like, we can easily just change all the sounds of any laser that we choose to add to the player script, maybe. Hi, Brad. In many cases, there are multiple ways to make something work in Unity. Where you put the audio source is a matter of personal preference. Prof. Natmerk wants to teach a variety of techniques in this course. It might well be that he uses different solution in different projects with the same problem. If your solution works, keep it. That's why I didn't challenge. Create audio sources to essentially short. Interesting to learn the different methods, though. Oh, I guess so. Is this the same one? Is this the same guy at the bottom? No. Why didn't he use audio source? Why don't we use SFX Manager as SCS? I think it'd be better to have a script that managed all the sound effects of the game. By doing so, you don't have to go back and forth between the player and enemy prefab, possibly obstacle prefab to change the sound or set the volume. Having it all in one class, kind of like what we did with the scriptable object of the waves, right? So if we had one class, actually, yeah, that's actually a pretty good point. That's actually a pretty good idea. But I assume it only work if they have similar properties. Like, if we do have like an environment sound, it wouldn't really make sense for a player to have it. I think that's the only issue that I see, right? Because I'll give one more example, but like let's say, because he says this is also for the obstacle or the environment prefab is what I'm thinking he's saying. And the issue is that the putting them all together seems kind of like a mess a little bit, because then you're adding all of these variables and it'd be kind of confusing, like, oh, I just want to change the player, but then you see all of this, you know what I mean? And I think that's the only issue I see. But I think, yeah, I guess it really depends. Like, let's see. Hi Trung, this is the same idea I had. Additional benefits with this, you could add volume control, music volume and SFX volume and options panel. I can't really read this. But yeah, this seems kind of too messy, I think, for me. Like, if I put this script on a player and then we have variables like enemy shot volume, enemy, that's kind of a waste of space, a waste of line of code, because then it's irrelevant to the player. Kind of like the player doesn't need to know the shot volume. The player doesn't need to know about dead volume or the enemy dead volume, etc. So that's why I don't think, like, I think this does work, and it's a good method. It's a good alternative to the solution. But my opinion is that I don't think, like, it might be too messy, I guess. But it's good to know these other solutions. I followed, tested, audio. Unless I'm thinking it differently, because I'm thinking it in like, because I'm used to like making, or not making, but like coding in like Java and like other, well, mainly Java. I tried other languages, but I've always stuck to Java for some odd reason. And maybe the standard in Unity is a lot different in that we can have these type of things, right? So I don't know. Maybe I'm just bringing in information from a different sector of like programming that is very different from the standards over here. So I don't know. But for my sake, I think I'm just gonna stick with it because it makes it easier for me to understand. And since if I'm gonna be making my own games, whatever makes it easier for me to understand, of course, will be beneficial, no matter what, even if it doesn't make sense to other people. Alright, cool. Actually, let me look at a few more questions, because they actually do bring up some interesting points, and I can actually learn from them. Rotation. How do I make something rotate? Tips for Laser Defender. A tip for Laser Defender is that for testing purposes, you might want to make it yes, I actually agree with that. That's actually, yeah, because there's plenty of times where I died and but I'm over it. I don't need to do that. Make your audio effects. Hey, if you want to make simple audio effects really fast and easy, they are not impressive. but can help you customize your game a little bit easier. There's a app website called bfxr.net. They sound really retro for a game like this. It's not that bad. I think I'm gonna go with this because I don't think I'm going for retro. Sounds feel laggy. Changing where layers fire from. Oh, right. I think this is what I did because mine was my image. Wait, oops, wrong one. Because yeah, my lasers should be at the gun, and I just changed the pivot. Let me see. So this is my player sprite. Since it has 2 guns, I thought it'd be cool to have 2 different lasers. One that shoots from the left. Oh, 2. Huh, that's interesting. Never mind, I can't help. Because, the pivot is only one anchor point in the image. I can't just separate it. So I don't think that would be the same situation as this. The one that shoots from the right is using the right. Oh, wow, that's actually a pretty cool mechanic. Clicking on the right shoots the right button. Clicking on the left shoots the left. That's actually a pretty cool feature. Holy moly. Can anyone help me with this? Hello. 2 independent and hook up each one. How would you do that? Like, let's say if I had a player that had 2 pistols and I could control either pistol depending on which mouse click I do, which is a mouse click 1 or mouse click 0. How would I be able to read from both and still be able to shoot between either one? Huh. It's actually pretty difficult, I think. You can have two prefabs, left shoot and right shoot. Then you could read the input, right? But then how would you make it so that the position of the laser happens on the left? You probably have to calculate it, and you probably have to hard code it to get the results that you want. Maybe, I don't know. I wonder if you can actually because I put the pivot point over here, so this is being treated as the center, and when we were shooting, let's say if I want to get the transfer position of the player, and I have to keep this in mind if I ever want to do something with the player. The transfer position of the player will be over here, which is, I don't think it's a good idea, but it does what I want, so for the time being I'm fine with it. But how would we create 2 pivot points, right? Shooting from the left and shooting from the right. I could do it like this, and then maybe if it's symmetrical, which it usually is, I could probably in the x-axis from I don't know, I'll find it too difficult, but that's good implementation. I actually do want to try that, so we're gonna have that over here too. I'll probably find a different sprite that has the weapon. I don't know. One.
Hello and welcome. In this video, we're going to be creating our start menu, our game over menu, putting in our text and creating our buttons so that we can do things such as clicking on start and starting our game. So things that we've done before, but super important to make sure that we've got a full game loop. So let's jump in and get started. This video for you. So the challenge is to connect the scenes. And what I mean by that is to create a start menu scene and a game over scene that we can connect with our game screen. And the buttons you'll need on the start menu are a start game and quit, and on the game over scene you'll need a play again and main menu. So make sure you've got that functionality, and we need to have a level.cs game screen, but super important to make sure that we've got a full game for you. So the challenge is to connect and we need to have a level.cs where we write our public methods. We need to have a load game over method, load game scene, load start menu, and quit game. Now, what I'd like to say is that I'm going to do this in a very simple way. I'm just going to literally say load the game over scene by using a string reference. And just to, part of the reason...
Alright, so we're have to create, or we're given a challenge, and we have to connect all the scenes together. So we need to create a new script. Then we also need to create two new scenes: the start screen and the game over screen. So what do I do first? We can just do it like this. I should call it level manager. I know I could do, like, I could just delete it and, you know, do all that stuff, but I'm kind of lazy. Level manager, double click on that, the assets, scenes, this one will be called game over. So let's see if I remember how to do this. So we're gonna create a HUD. So we need to create a UI, and that's through canvas. So, oh wow, it matches the shape of this. Oh, interesting. So let's get let's add some designs a little bit. We could do like go to font. Oh yeah, we also need to remember how to do that too. Let's do did. That actually looks nice. Zombie. I don't even know what to call my game, to be honest. I'll probably call it Dead City or something. But I do want it to be colored, so I think I'm gonna go with this. Because this is white. I want it to be filled in, but I don't know how to do that. Because I already have like a pretty bright background, so it wouldn't really make sense. So let's go download it. Put it down here. Go here, go to assets, create folder, put fonts, drag and drop this over here. Oh, we have to extract it first. Successful. Just clear up. Alright, so let's see if I remember we need to create a text mesh pro. So we go here, font asset creator. Sure, yeah, we need to. So I guess you have to keep adding it to this new project, as opposed to, I always thought it'd be everywhere. Like I thought it was part of the engine and etc. But no, we have to apply it to each new object separately. Alright, so let's choose the font that we want. Zombie font. Generate font, Atlas, and save. Alright, so let's go to. We need buttons. So we have a button right here. We say start button. We have the text. Start. Wait, what happened to all this stuff? Oh, it's right here. We'll say start. Let's center it. I wonder if this is centered. Probably not. Oh, it's centered now. Alright, that's better. Start. We'll make this black or something. Duh. Whoa. Why does it look like that? Or how about get ready to die? No. Let's just say start. We'll just stick with start. That should be good. It's a button. It's a start button. But there's no functionality to it. We gotta implement the thing. And I'll probably have to create like a custom image for it. Yeah, actually, I think that's good. I think that's good for now. Wonder what else. I think that's it. That's pretty much it. We do need a level manager, kind of like what we did in our other projects. Let me see. Open project. We'll go with block breakers because we kind of forgot a little bit. So while that loads up, let's go save this scene and go to the game over screen. Oh, my bad, it's this one. Then we're gonna create a canvas. Oh yeah, I was gonna create an image actually. How much time do I have left? Only have 3 minutes, so what's important? I think for the time being I'm not going to implement the level system. I am going to start working on the design for the game over screen, and I'm probably going to try to draw like the player getting eaten or something. I'll try my best to do it. I don't know how I'm going to do it. We'll see. So we need to get the properties of this. So this is, go to sprites, then see the property. It's a 499 by 935. So let's go to paint. So it needs to be, oh, perfect. So then, yeah, let's create a copy of that. Hold up. Alright, I created a copy. So let's go to Alright, so how was I gonna do this? You know what? No, I'm not gonna use this one. We're gonna just create like a shadow figure. So let's do like this. I know how it looks right now. It doesn't make any sense. Alright, yeah, it's kind of... Let me see. There's no point of drawing him, dang it. They were just gonna have some. Maybe we could see like a hand. Have red. Basically, the zombies are supposed to be eating him alive. But I can't really... I don't know if this depicts it or not. That's pretty bad. Yeah, I don't know what happened here. I try to make it look spiky here, but then it ends up looking like a girl. Anyways, yeah, I think we'll go with this. So we're gonna save it. We could do zombie game. Oh, you know, actually, game over. Alright, cool. We're gonna put that. Oh, actually. Where'd it go? Where did I put that? Oh, I found it. I found it. Alright. So I'm just gonna drag this over. So this is the game over screen for sprites, and let me just apply it and then I'll just end the video from there. I'll end the video from here. Alright, so let's create the canvas, UI, canvas, yes, then we get the image, which is UI image, and then this will be the backdrop. And then in the sprite, we do game overseen. So our scenes right now is the start, Dead City, the game, and if you die, it's whatever, you know, I'm not an artist. But, you know, I do plan on maybe getting decent at it, hopefully. Alright, then we end it here, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.